Poulsbo, Silverdale, or Bremerton. That's three completely different personalities, three completely different lifestyles. And most people researching a Kitsap County move have no idea which one actually fits them until they've already signed on the dotted line. Today, we'll fix that. If you're watching this, you've probably already decided that Kitsap County checks a lot of boxes for your move. The scenery, the proximity to Seattle without the Seattle price tag, the outdoor lifestyle, maybe the military connection or the ferry commute. But at some point, you hit a wall, and because Kitsap County isn't a neighborhood, it's a peninsula with distinct communities that feel completely different from each other. And without someone breaking it down, you end up scrolling listings across all three cities with no real filter. Here's what most people do. They default to price. They sort by median home value, find the sweet spot, and start shopping there, which makes sense on the surface. Poulsbo feels expensive, so maybe Bremerton. Silverdale looks suburban and safe, so maybe there. The price, it becomes the filter. But here's the problem with that approach. Price tells you what the market thinks about a neighborhood. It doesn't tell you anything about whether you will love living there or not. And in Kitsap County, the difference between these three cities isn't really about price. It's about personality. It's about who you are and how you want to live your daily life. Get that right, and the price question almost answers itself. Hey, I'm James Bergstrom, broker and owner of Paramount Real Estate Group. I've lived and worked in Kitsap County for years. 25 years, that's a long time. I've sold homes in all three of these communities. I've watched people light up when they find the right fit, and I've watched people settle into the wrong one and quietly wonder if they made the right call. So here's the plan. First, I'm going to flip the script on how you're probably comparing these cities. Then I'll give you real insider breakdown of each one. And at the end, I'm going to give you a 5-question framework that tells you exactly which city is built for your life. Let's get into it. Before we talk about each city, I want to flip how you're thinking about this comparison, because the lens most people use is going to give the wrong answer. Most buyers compare cities by looking at median home price, school ratings, and maybe a quick crime search. Those aren't wrong inputs, but they do miss the most important variable. The daily cost of living in that city, not in dollars, but in energy, time, and lifestyle friction. Well, every city has a lifestyle tax. That doesn't show up in the listing price. Poulsbo lists at a median of around $675,000 right now. That is a premium. But what you're buying with that premium is walkability, a genuinely tight-knit community, and a quality of life that is hard to put a number on. So if you're the kind of person who loves knowing your neighbors and walking to a coffee shop on Saturday morning, Poulsbo's tax is absolutely worth it. Silverdale, well, it runs about $649,000 on the listing side, but it's the most practical city in the county. You're literally close to everything: hospital, retail, restaurants, the freeway network. But if you crave character and a walkability and a sense of place, Silverdale's tax is the suburban sameness that some people find exhausting after 6 months. Bremerton is it's the most affordable of the three at around $515,000 median price. The upside is it's real. The ferry to Seattle is a genuine lifestyle unlock, but the lifestyle tax right now is that it's still a work in progress. And you have to be the kind of person who sees the potential and is excited by it rather than bothered by it. None of these lifestyle taxes are bad. They're just real. The buyer who thrives are the ones who choose the city that matches who they actually are, not just what they can afford. Let's start with Poulsbo. And if you haven't been there, you genuinely might not believe me when I describe it. Poulsbo is what happens when Norwegian immigrants settle on a bay that looks exactly like the fjords that came from and spent 140 years making it their own. The town was founded in the 1880s by a Norwegian immigrant, and the Scandinavian heritage runs deep. The downtown, along Front Street in Liberty Bay, is genuinely charming in a way that it doesn't feel manufactured. Roast-mailed storefronts, a working waterfront, bakeries, coffee shops, boutique retailers. It's the kind of downtown you actually want to walk around. It's lovely out there. Here's what daily life actually looks like in Poulsbo. Weekends on the waterfront, Viking Fest in May, where the town genuinely comes alive around its heritage. Strong school scores. North Kitsap School District consistently performs well. A community feel that people who move here almost always describe the same way. I finally feel like I've lived somewhere. And here's a piece of insider info that matters. The Kingston Ferry is right nearby. So if you're commuting to Seattle, you have the option of catching the Kingston Edmonds Ferry and then driving south. For some people, that's actually a better commute than Bremerton, depending on where in Seattle you're going. So Poulsbo is the right fit if you want community over convenience. You're willing to pay the premium for a place that feels like a place. And you don't need big box retail 30 seconds from your front door. It is one of the most livable small cities I've ever seen. It's absolutely cute. And the people who move there almost never leave. Okay, Silverdale, and I'm going to start with something that surprises almost every out-of-state buyer I tell this to. Silverdale is not actually a city. Technically, it's an unincorporated community within Kitsap County. It has never voted to incorporate. There's no mayor, there's no city council, and county government runs it. For most people living there, day to day, this changes nothing. But it matters for development decisions, zoning, and the long-term trajectory of the area, and it tells you something about the culture. Silverdale is a practical place built by practical people who didn't want another layer of government. And that practicality runs all the way through the community. With about 20,000 residents, Silverdale is Kitsap's second largest community and functions as the county's retail and services hub. Every major retailer you could want is here. The restaurant selection is the best in the county outside of Bremerton. And in 2020, Virginia Mason Franciscan Health opened St. Michael's Medical Center. That's a $500 million state-of-the-art hospital that is now the anchor of healthcare for the entire Kitsap Peninsula. So when you're evaluating a place to put down roots, having world-class medical care 10 minutes away matters enormously, especially for families, individuals, and retirees. So the housing market in Silverdale leans newer. Subdivisions, townhomes, more new construction in Poulsbo or Bremerton. If you want a newer build with a 2-car garage in a neighborhood where you can walk to a park, Silverdale has a lot of those options. So, Silverdale is the right fit if practicality is a core value for you, you want every amenity close by, you have a family and want newer construction with good school proximity, or you're in healthcare or work near the medical center. It is often the most underrated city in Kitsap because it doesn't have the charm, narrative of Poulsbo or the comeback story of Bremerton. But people who live there tend to be extremely happy. The friction of daily life is just low. Quick sidebar. If you're doing serious research on Kitsap, I put together a free Washington State Relocation guide that goes deep on all of this. It's linked in the description, no strings attached. Grab it and use it while I keep going. All right, Bremerton. And I want to be honest with you, this is the city I think most out-of-state buyers underestimate the most. Bremerton is the largest city in Kitsap County with a history that is inseparable from the Navy. Naval Base Kitsap Bremerton is the 3rd largest naval installation in the whole country. The Puget Sound Naval Shipyard has been operating here for over 130 years. The military has defined Bremerton's identity, its economy, and its population for generations. And for a long time, that was its entire story, a blue-collar Navy town. Well, that story has changed. Over the last decade, Bremerton's downtown has been steadily revitalizing. New restaurants, coffee shops, art galleries, a waterfront that is genuinely beautiful, renovated historic buildings, a growing community of people who see what Bremerton is becoming and want to be part of it early. Here's the thing that changes everything about Bremerton for commuters, the Seattle Ferry. The Bremerton-Seattle Ferry runs about an hour each way, which sounds long until you realize you're on a boat watching the Olympics and the Seattle skyline with Wi-Fi, seating, and a cafe, while Seattle residents are stuck in gridlock on I-5, and that's horrible. A lot of people who move to Bremerton and take the ferry describe it as genuinely one of their favorite parts of the day. That's not marketing. That's just what happens when your commute turns into a boat ride. On the real estate side, Bremerton is the most affordable of the 3 median, around $515,000 as of early 2026. You get more house for the dollar. Strong rental markets too, driven by the military population and shipyard workers. So, Bremerton is the right fit if you're drawn to a city with an identity and a story. You value affordability and upside over polish. You're a ferry commuter or you work remote, or you're the type of person who likes being in a place that's still becoming what it's going to be. This is not a city for people who need everything to be perfect. It is absolutely a city for people who want to be part of something real. Quick but important, let's talk commute, because where you work determines which of these cities actually make sense for your life. Poulsbo sits in North Kitsap above the Gorse choke point. If you haven't watched my Gorse video, link is in the description. Your daily life is largely insulated from the county's worst traffic. Access to the Bremerton ferry requires heading south, or you can catch the Kingston ferry going north. Silverdale is the geographic center of the county. You are equidistant from most of the county's major employers and destinations. If your life involves driving around Kitsap County a lot, Silverdale minimizes your total windshield time better than either of the other two. So, Bremerton has the ferry, full stop. That is the most significant commute advantage available anywhere in Kitsap County if your destination is Seattle. Bottom line, Seattle is your workplace. Bremerton wins on the commute. Kitsap County is where you work and live. Silverdale wins on centrality. Remote work or light commute lets personality drive the decision, which usually means Poulsbo wins on pure quality of life. This is the one I've been building to, and if you take one thing from this video, I want it to be this. I've had this conversation with hundreds of buyers, and I found that 5 specific questions, 5, cut through all the noise and point toward the right city almost every time. Question 1, where do you work and when? If Seattle is your daily destination, Bremerton's ferry gives you a commute that is genuinely enjoyable. That's your answer. If you work in Kitsap County, Silverdale's winning. If you're fully remote or retired, move on to the next question. Question 2, what does your ideal Saturday morning look like? Walking somewhere charming? Knowing the barista by name? Feeling embedded in community with character? That's Poulsbo. Running practical errands efficiently and coming home without a lot of friction? Silverdale. Waterfront coffee, exploring a city that's still revealing itself, maybe catching a ferry? Well, it's Bremerton. All right, here's question 3. Are you buying for now or for equity? Long-term appreciation and upside. Bremerton has the most runway, the prices are the most accessible, and the trajectory is upward. Poulsbo holds value extremely well, but the big appreciation window is largely passed. Silverdale is stable and practical, but less driven by a transformation narrative. So here's question 4. How important is walkability? Walk out your front door and be somewhere worth walking to? Poulsbo wins by a significant margin. Bremerton's downtown is getting there, and it has real walkable blocks near the waterfront. Silverdale, being unincorporated and more spread out, requires a car for almost everything. Question 5. What is your relationship with the military community? Bremerton and Silverdale both have significantly military populations, but Bremerton wears that identity more visibly and more proudly. Poulsbo has a military presence, but the dominant community identity is more civilian. So not better or worse, just different. So know where you fit. When I walk buyers through these 5 questions, the city usually emerges pretty quickly. And when it does, the entire home search changes, because now we're not just looking for the right house. We're looking for the right house in the right place for the right life. That's when people stop shopping and start buying. All right, let's wrap it up. That's 3 cities, 3 completely different personalities. Poulsbo is a little Norway, walkable, charming, community first, and worth every dollar of its $675,000 median. If that lifestyle is what you're after, go for it. Silverdale is the practical powerhouse, unincorporated, centrally located, anchored by a $500 million hospital, and built for the buyer who values convenience and quality without needing postcard charm. Bremerton is the comeback kid story, the most affordable of the 3 at $515,000 median price, the most connected to Seattle via ferry, and the city with the most upside left on the table for the buyer willing to bet on what it's becoming. Hey, you came into this video knowing you wanted Kitsap but not knowing which part. You leave with a framework that maps your actual life to the right answer. That's not a small thing, that's a weeks of research you just didn't have to do. If this gave you more clarity than you expected when you clicked, that's what this channel exists to do. At least that's what I'm trying to have it do. Real intel, no fluff, nothing held back. If you've gone through those 5 questions and you have a sense of which city feels right, or if you're still on the fence between 2 of them, I do free strategy conversations. We'll map your specific commute, your priorities, and your budget against what's actually available right now in that city. No pressure, just a real conversation. The link's in the description. And the Washington State Relocation Guide is down there too if you haven't grabbed it. So subscribe if you want more of this. Drop a comment. Tell me which city you're leaning toward after watching this. I actually want to know, and I read every one. Till next time, thank you so much for watching. Make sure and like and subscribe. Appreciate you.